This is what I heard, that they've said, well, they're not under our protection anymore, which kind of seems like open season. It's much more than boycotting. They're actually speaking on violence.
That is something where really you'd have to get qadis or high-ranking muftis involved, because if one took a ruling from just one mufti on a situation, especially from outside of the country, that doesn't understand the fullness of what's taking place here, you could have mistakes. These type of situations, just like in medical and other emergencies, these things usually need to be answered by panels of mufti, preferably imams that are actually present there, that understand the situation that's taking place there. Because otherwise, you can either be too heavy-handed or too lax. I believe in the last years, the communities, according to what some imams and some sheikhs have said to me, that the actual policy that some communities have adopted is we've been too lax. We really have been too lax in being aware of cults and these other groups. These groups are the unpaid dues of Muslim Orthodox. By us not inoculating our children spiritually against them, so that they know the faith, they know the proofs, they know the deen, not just our children, I mean our young adults. By not properly protecting them, they have actually gone into these groups because they become confused about their identity. Am I this or not? What am I? Who am I? And these groups have said, we'll give you an identity. You're a Muslim, which is correct. But then they begin to teach them and indoctrinate them with other things. And so what happens is, all of us, I think, have had a situation where we didn't pay a bill on time and we received a letter through the door. Said, if you have paid this bill on time, please ignore this notice. We're like, yeah, that's fine. Well, that's what the Orthodox Muslims did. We received a red letter, danger, cults in Orthodox territory. If you have given them dawah, dealt with them and refuted them, please ignore this notice. Yeah, alhamdulillah, someone's doing it. Put it on the shelf. Then the green one comes through. Oh, here's another one. This is your second notice. This is your second notice of deviancy in your midst. If you do nothing about it, it will increase. Third one, your territorial spiritual integrity has been breached. Alarm bells going off. If you don't do something now, you're going to lose your youth. Oh, why didn't someone tell me this before? Now we go down there and I can't believe this. What's happened to the Orthodox Muslim community? No one ever told me about this. Sir, you received 3 to 4 other notices. When? Where? Where are they now? Now that our whole family, they've gone to Ahmadiyya and they say that Ghulam Ahmad al-Qadian is the prophet, the Mujaddid and al-Masih. We don't understand what's happened to our son, our daughter. I don't know. He was such a good boy. He was always such a quiet boy. Well, where do you think he was when he was 5 years in Chester, fasting with Qadianis and these other groups, and they adopted him and they wanted him when he was not treated well at the masjid and all these other things, and now he's a Qadiani or an Ahmadi. What do you think was going to happen? So this is what we've got to do now. We've been too lax. Now we've got to tighten up, learn our faith and the reasons for our faith, because it's not for them to know why we believe it. Yes, I'm a Muslim and I understand the Qur'an this way as an Orthodox Muslim. Oh, okay. Can you explain to me why that is? I'll explain to you why you have to be an Orthodox Muslim. They're not going to do that. They have a specific game plan. It's up to us to know why we believe it and how we believe it, and then to carry on. We have to do that. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Who is ultimately to be blamed when Muslims are indoctrinated by different groups? Are the parents to blame, or the state in the Muslim state?
It's a collective guilt, brother. It's a collective guilt. Because the parents are correct in the fact that they came here, and sometimes they leave their children in the public environment. Now in Egypt or in Pakistan or other places, you can do that. And the actual community will help to raise the child, and they'll be affected by Muslim manners. But you can't use that same methodology here. So they've come here and they still have the methodology they had for Egypt. And so they say, well, my son will be fine playing in the street or whatever, and he makes a friend. Well, what's your new friend's name? Johnny, Fred, Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Condoleezza, whatever their name is. Right. They've got a new friend, right? And they're learning new practices and ideas, and slowly they're drifting away, right? And then what do? We say, well, he's got to have more friends. We turn, and rather than helping a Muslim school or sending him to a Muslim school, we say, well, he's got to learn to blend in. We send him to a Catholic school where he's bombarded every day with secularism and everything else. Then we say, well, now that you've finished here, you're going to get a good education after he's been bombarded. Now you need to go to the masjid, learn Qur'an during the week. We've cluster bombed him intellectually and spiritually for 6-7 years, and now we say, okay, we're going to give you a heavy dose of religion now. 16 years old, you tell them you tackle the daughter, you put the hijab, come here, there you go. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to resist. They're going to resist. The brother, okay, that's enough of that. Grow your beard now. I want to see a 5 o'clock shadow in another week. Come on now, you've got to get serious now. Go to the masjid, pray 5 times a day, do all your fasting, everything else. We'd let them live this type of, I don't know, it's like they were a spiritual gigolo for the first 10, 11 years of their life. That's how they were. And then we get angry. I don't know what's happened to my son or daughter. Because I'm one of the ones that sometimes gets the phone call. Because the other imams are too busy fielding all the other stuff. So I get it. And they say, well, I don't know what's happened to my son or daughter. Does he pray and fast? He used to, but now he doesn't. Well, what happened? I don't know. And then they sit there. We just don't have the power that we used to have. He's not hungry for learning the Sunnah and the Qur'an like he used to be. I don't know. When did this happen? Oh, it started when he was about 10. Really? When did he enter into the public school system for spiritual bombardment? Oh, about 10. Right. And how long has he been like this? Oh, since about 10. And, well, have you tried to change the situation? Yes. When he was about 15, 16, we tried to send him down to the masjid. But he made a mistake in the Qur'an, and the imam hit him with a stick, and he bludgeoned the imam and shattered his skull. No, this has happened. Where the imam has hit him because he's got his own methodology. In Egypt, I tap him with a stick. This boy was raised in downtown Detroit. Someone looked at his shoe and looked at him wrong, and he shot that man. And you tap him with a stick on his head, he'll beat you like a red-headed stepchild. We have to understand the methodology of the people that we're dealing with. And some people, although they're from a Muslim background, they have the name. They've said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah. They are some very rough brothers. I've met people from Egypt that if you just slighted them, although they were born in the United States, if you just slighted them, they'd kill you and have no remorse about it. And that's why when you got them in the masjid, and you say, okay, now it's time to be respectful and render wudu, man, what are you talking about? Because they've been completely indoctrinated with another environment. Now, I'm not saying to become hermitized, to become hermits, not at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if we want them to be proper Muslims and everything else, they have to have a thorough Islamic basis where we're practicing it ourselves. Because it can't be a situation where I get the kids that come to me, because this used to happen when I was teaching kids. The kids come to me and the parents aren't doing any Islam. And then when the kids come home and they're confused and they have all these problems, they say, I don't know what's happened to my son or daughter. Well, Mr. Hamid, should we meet about it? Yes, meet me at my off license. We'll talk about it. I don't know what's happened to my son. I don't know, he doesn't have the spiritual hunger and the power that he used to have before. Now I don't know what's happened to him. He's into girls and drinking and all this stuff. And I don't know where he's got these ideas about alcohol and everything else. He's got the big line of hard liquors and everything behind him. It's just, I don't understand. We worked so hard with him, and he's got all the dirty magazines, and he's got girlfriends. I don't know how that happened. He's got all the stuff going around the store, the filthy magazines. It's like something's gotten to him, but I just don't know what it could be. And you're looking at these people, and it's so clear. It's so clear. This is our problem. We have got to tighten up our borders, where Islam is present in our life, and then it's present in our children's life. Now we've got so many teachers teaching very young children. Now what we've got to do is we've got to meet the gap of in between 15 and 25. Because it's them that mainly get grabbed. Between 15 and 25. You're going to college. Hey brother, how are you doing there? Oh, what's this? Yeah, it's a lecture we're having tonight. Come on through, brother. It's just for Muslims. Make your iman get strong. Okay, alhamdulillah. And he goes there. And the West! He's kuffar! We must go against them. And there's all this screaming and shouting and everything else. And before you know it, you've got a convert. Son comes home. He's telling his parents, shirk, kufr, bid'ah, nifaq, shirk, kufr, bid'ah. And everywhere you go, open the refrigerator. Shirk, kufr, bid'ah. You go in the living room. Shirk, kufr, bid'ah. So I just want to make dhikr. Allah, shirk, kufr, bid'ah. It's become a dhikr to them. Instead of subhanallah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, shirk, kufr, bid'ah. It's become a mantra. And that has replaced the deen that they learned. That's replaced. So we think, well, at least he's practicing now. No, if he became a Crip or a Blood or a Vice Lord, would he be any better? If he joined the Los Angeles Crips, no. Well, he's done the same thing, only it's these type of spiritual gangs, religious gangs. It's no different. They're still thugs. They beat up people on the road. Yeah, we taught him a lesson. Lord, what? The guy just looked at you and the kafir beat on someone old. This happened. The old man was beaten up by two youths near the Isle of Dogs in London. Two Muslim youths. Yeah, we showed that kafir. We have a right. We're Muslims. We're somebody. See, it's no different. It's just religion is being used as the ploy. So we have to realize that, and if any of us have children, or we are in a situation where we know children, Muslim children, that are being corrupted, especially if some of us are from the older generation, we have to be aware of that. Because they tell us, these old people, what do they know about Islam? They're jahil, they're ignorant. Islam's been corrupted. We're going to give you the pure Islam. And then they come home. They don't want to listen to their aunts, their uncles. You don't know about Islam, just, you don't know. And so they wind up rejecting the Islam of their parents and everyone else, thinking that, no, this is the new pure and new and improved Islam, the proper Islam. My parents, they don't know, and nobody else knows. We have to be aware of this. So we have to tighten up to learn our faith, the reasons for our faith, because they're not going to tell us why we believe what we believe. And to implement and practice it, like I said, just read one passage a day, even just one ayah a day, and try to implement it. If it's got a practical instruction where you need to implement something, just use it and just implement it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you, inshallah. Is there any further comments or anything? If not, inshallah, I think we'll prepare for Maghrib. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us. Subhanallah wa hamdihi, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد. الحمد لله. Jazakumullah khairan for everyone coming. The issue that we want to speak about in our fourth session is the issue of naskh. Naskh in Arabic means abrogation. Now, before delving into this, I want to mention an important fact. These set of classes that we're doing started out with two ends. The first thing is the beginning. We delved into the deep end of things because it was very difficult to get down some terms. We had new phraseology, hermeneutics, new language. We're learning new words, new phrases, and maybe our understanding is even also changing how we originally viewed revelation. Maybe that's also modifying. Now we're on the second deep end as well. We're in another deep end. And that particular deep end is conditioned on understanding the revelation in its actual form between what is abrogated and what is not abrogated. One will find, studying the sources of deviation, that there are two major problems when those that would go into deviation do so. The first main problem that they will usually find when someone studies them is that they are either taking a passage that is mutashabih, or they are taking a passage that is abrogated. Someone could even say for a third one, that maybe they're taking a passage that is majaz. They are not depending on the decisive passages of judgment. They're taking a passage that is not from the muhkamat, the decisive passages. They are taking others and then enforcing and implementing them over the ones that are muhkamat. That's, I think, maybe an important factor or set of factors to keep in mind. Now in session 3, we spoke about the mubayyin, the clear and unambiguous ayat. And we also spoke about the mujmal, which are those ayat that are elucidated by other texts. I believe that all of us benefited greatly from that, even if it was somewhat deep for us or somewhat difficult to grasp. I believe that we benefited from that handsomely.